Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another GameReplays.org Heroes of New Earth cast. Today we're in the first qualifying round of our TS3 tournament. We got $3,000 on the line all the way to the Invitational, and this is a round one matchup between Duskbin and You. Now You, not you obviously, but Y-O-U, YouMadBrah, or bro, whichever you'd like to go with, whatever. These guys are a reform of the old Druids Q-Pad that broke up almost immediately after the DreamHack, and they are going up against Duskbin Esports, which I do believe is a very big emerging team out of the Asia realm. But I know who can help me out with some of this information. Today, with the Four Court Jester, we got two great co-casters. We got SK Cardinal from SK Gaming, and we do have YawningAngel from the Game Replay staff. Say hello here, gentlemen, Cardinal and YawningAngel.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hello, Mr. Jester.
So, Duskbin Esports, they are from Asia. That is correct, right, Cardinal?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't really know much about them, but they seem like a solid team from what I hear.
Well, they were at, I believe, the Digital Youth Awards, but I could be wrong about that. Angel, do you have any idea about the Duskbin Esports?
Well, I saw some really shiny play from them actually. They've run some very interesting aggressive tri-lanes that we don't normally see often when we're playing tri-lanes in European and American, or I was going to say data, obviously HoN would be rather accurate. We see them being used defensively to try and get a carry flying. I've also seen, however, a lot of aggressive play out of Duskbin, putting 2 or even 3 ganking heroes into a tri-lane, trying to shut carry down, as I'm hoping might be seeing some aggressive play based off of that.
Well, based off of that, we have finished up the bans. We're already halfway through the picks. Cardinal, can you go through the bans for us, and was there anything really surprising here?
So far, I see Tundra, Dr. Repulsor, Bombardier, Sandwraith, Devourer, Pharaoh. Pretty standard bans. Lately, our team has been talking about leaving Doctor on the board because he doesn't seem like he's that overpowering anymore. But pretty standard bans. I like it so far.
So nothing really upset there. Of course, Dr. Repulsor, a great int carry that is really kind of... I think I had a 35-day streak with no game ever being played with Dr. Repulsor. But Sandwraith, of course, is one of those super hard carries that has also been denied this game. But of course, if you can shut him down early, it's not that bad to deal with. We're not going to deal with it at all. Bombardier is taken out, as you were saying, and he's kind of come onto the scene as a great big burst damage, of course, with his ultimate, the global on-demand, targeted, and of course we have Pharaoh banned as well. So no level 1 Congors, I don't think, is what we're going to see. But thank you so much for the bans there, Cardinal. YawningAngel, what do we have here for the picks?
Right, picks. Well, firstly, the first pick team, Duskbin, Pebbles, Voodoo Jester, and Bubbles from Hellborn. Thus far, we've got Glacius and Wretched Hag out, Vindicator and Swiftblade being mooted. They're not abnormal picks by any means. The only one I would say is even remotely surprising would be the Bubbles pickup, but I really think that he gets less credit than he's due. I mean, we haven't seen him too much since he was toned down ever so slightly. However, he's got plenty of merit. He's excellent sitting back against a tri-lane, taking solo farm. He's pretty much impossible to kill if he makes good use of take cover and shell surf, and he's pretty damn good at picking up the odd creep kill with a well-timed shell surf, which you can use for harass as well. So definitely no objections there. And obviously Pebbles and Voodoo just a fairly aggressive hero. You can stick them into a tri-lane with a 3rd stunner, or you can give Pebbles that solo, trying to get them an early portal key. You can even play a defensive tri-lane, trying to get Pebbles a really fast portal key and build around that. Hellborn side looking to play slightly more passively. They've got that Vindicator and that mooting a Hellbringer pick as well, so that's 2 heroes who counter initiate very well. Vindicator obviously can leave a team up a creep without a paddle if they go in too hard, and then the ultimates. Hellbringer's stun's very useful if people try to dive onto a tower against you. And then they've got Swiftblade, who's pretty much a mid-game carry, does really well on the tri-lane, able to put lots of pressure on and take a storming farm through the mid-game. So I'm thinking, okay, looking to maybe play slightly defensively for the first part and then have Swiftblade and Wretched Hag really take over the game as it goes into the middle game around level 10, level 11.
Well, the trademark, I don't breathe when I cast, thank you very much there, Angel. But with all that being said, I mean, I don't think we've seen any kind of real big upset picks. I mean, you don't really see that Vindicator that often. Maybe for sure we're going to see like the old China from the old China carry Vindicator that, oh man, that seems like so long ago, 6 months. However, it's very doubtful at this point. Now that we got all the picks here set up for the Legion, Cardinal, what do you think these guys are going to be running for their lanes?
For Legion or Hellbringer or Hellborn?
For the Legion, sir.
Seems like they're probably going to run Bubbles in the solo side lane and probably Pebbles mid, and set up a tri-lane with Hammerstorm, Behemoth, Voodoo, which I've never really seen a lot of teams run that because they don't really want 2 melee stunners, but you never know. They could also throw some dual lanes up there, maybe a dual lane mid, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting based on their picks. The Hammerstorm's kind of throwing me off.
Well, as YawningAngel elaborated, I mean, these guys have some very aggressive or very defensive builds, so hopefully we're going to see something great out of that. Now, with the Behemoth stun, I would hardly call it a melee kind of range simply because of the immensity on it, but we'll have to see what they go. What do you think here for the Hellborn, Angel?
Hellborn, I think, are pretty much pigeonholed. What I have to say, I think we're going to be seeing sticking a Swiftblade and Glacius, obviously pretty much obligatory to put them in the same lane. Wretched Hag has to be taking one of the solos, so our choice really is whether we see Hellbringer or Vindicator in the tri-lane. Personally, I would expect to be seeing Vindicator being used probably against a tri-lane, simply for the fact that he can do such a good job of screwing people out completely with Sage's Law, and it's obviously fairly valuable to have Glyph of Silence, though less so against this team. The only person it really affects is Pebbles. It really depends what the Hellborn side are anticipating. If they think the Legion side will be running a tri-lane, I would imagine it'll probably be Vindicator. If they think they might be splitting up, Hellbringer is probably more of an option. It looks like we're going to be seeing Hellbringer taking the solo top scene. Phoebe run that. It's fairly effective, just taking Death Ball and then your choice of Life Void or Stat, playing defensively, doing a bit of harassment with Death Ball. Looks like we're going to be seeing that aggressive tri-lane coming out here with Vindicator, Glacius and Swiftblade though, so definitely going to be interesting to see how effective they can be against Hammerstorm. They do have 2 ranged against the 2 melees on this Legion tri-lane, but on the other hand they're probably less well equipped in terms of the stuns department, relying very much on Swiftblade's capacity to get kills with his Blade Frenzy, so it could really go either way on the bottom lane.
Thank you for that, Angel. So yeah, this bottom lane, the 2 tri-heads definitely going to be butting up head to head, as we do have the rune spawn about to come up. It does look like Wretched Hag will be taking the mid, most likely against this Pebbles, as Bubbles is definitely going to be going up top, and that will leave us with the Hellbringer top. Now, a lot of people do like to see the Hellbringer top. I do believe MSI Fresh Pro, I think, started that, or it would have been somebody before that, but he's definitely well known for his solo play in that regard, and he's kind of really brought a lot of the heroes into solo focus, so to speak. But with this tri-lane down here on the Hellborn with a Glacius and a Swiftblade, I think it was voted the most annoying combo ever to really go up against anything with a slow, and anything with that to pair up against that Swiftblade definitely is annoying, so to speak. And with that being said, we do have a Behemoth throwing down a Fisher already, and the Sage's Lore coming out onto Hammerstorm. This is going to be one of the big key strengths here of keeping down this Hammerstorm. They do not want that AoE hammer to hit anybody, especially if you can time it with that Behemoth stun to a cask. I mean, that's a lot of not moving around, a lot of free hits that can be hit. So Sage's Lore definitely going to try to keep them down in the terms of the mana department. So that being said, we will have to see who gets the first blood. What do you think of the first blood, Cardinal? Which lane? Still with me, Cardinal?
Bottom.
Yeah. Alright, well, it will be the Bloodlust kill there on Twista down south on that Swiftblade, so he's definitely going to get comboed down, and that will not be super great for that Swiftblade. Of course, going with the Swiftblade, you probably weren't holding push to talk. Understandable, Cardinal. Oh, you alt tab. That's fine. Great. It's all good. YawningAngel had the call down south, but with Swiftblade now dead, I mean, after like a minute into the game, Bloodlust kill on your carry, this cannot be boding very well for this tri-lane, because that's a lot of time now spent out of lane. He's still level 1, no farm, and now even Vindicator going to get trapped here with that Fisher, and down he goes as well. This is not looking good. It's super early here for this U team, YouMadBrah. It's going to sound weird saying you all the time, isn't it, Angel?
No, I think it can't sound any more awkward than trying to talk at 200 words per minute pretty much constantly. I think in terms of not burning well, you're absolutely right. It's showing you paying a disturbing lack of attention. I mean, they know there's a behemoth in this lane. It is not, oh, a roaming behemoth appeared. He used Fisher. We're screwed. Shit. It's, hey, there's a behemoth in our lane. We can't see him. Is he A, going fishing, or B, about to fisher us? Well, it's not rocket science. You would hope they'd have twigged by now that they've got that Hammerstorm Stun to initiate. Obviously, he's not going to be trouble for Man's. He's got the early Blood Chalice. They've got Behemoth's Fish to cut people off. And really, Hellborn side are just paying a disturbing lack of attention to the facts of this lane. And as a result, they've got a harassment. And here we go again. FourCourtJester with that stun. Behemoth tries to follow up with a Fisher, but realistically not going to be able to do that. Minicaid is just too far back. But yeah, I mean, they need to pay attention to the facts, which are that they have a very powerful initiation-focused lane against them. And if they let Behemoth get into places to fish them and they're not prepared, they're going to get screwed 9 times out of 10. So it doesn't bode well, mainly because you keep just screwed up twice in a row and giving 2 easy kills to the Legion that they shouldn't have been giving away.
I saw a little bit of laughter there, Cardinal. Were you watching up top with the bubbles play?
No, I was laughing at his reference to going fishing.
Yeah, the fishing with the behemoth. It's good, fun stuff. In the mid, we did have a little bit of a danger zone here for the Wretched Hag, with Pebbles obviously comboing her down. She is going to be kind of squishy. He's also very squishy at this level, but I do believe the burst damage is kind of in favor of that Pebbles. And of course, we did see that Bubbles up top do a little bit of a run back to town as well. This could be bad for the Pebbles. He's going to try to bring it back. He does indeed. Mr. Swish on Duskbin Esports. What's going on down south with all this is happening? That spin from Swiftblade just not going to be able to land that kill on the Voodoo Jester. He will be taken out by Louis instead, who's on that Glacius. And that will be the first kill for the Hellborn team. So that was almost a big kill there in the mid for Pebbles. That would have been a big advantage for the YouMadBrah in the mid, because they're so far losing this bottom lane. And I mean, that was really turned right back around on top of that Wretched Hag. Now, in terms of the middle matchup, Cardinal, what do you think? I mean, who really should have the advantage there? We saw Pebbles turn that back around on the Hag, and he's now level 6. Is this going to be really bad for Hag? Do you think she can bring it back?
Well, Hag has the advantage early on. I play a lot of Pebbles. He's probably my most played hero. And Hag has the advantage, but Pebbles can win if you have to kind of almost disguise when you're going to stun, or else Hag's just going to back off and you won't be able to combo him off, and he's just going to kill you right after that. So I didn't get a chance to see it, but it seems like Pebbles really has to outplay the Hag early on to get an advantage mid-game.
Well, getting that advantage is what it's all about. He is level 6 versus this Hag, who is a level 5. What are we talking about for farm here, Angel? I mean, we've been paying a lot of attention to the bottom lane, but what are the other 2 lanes in terms of farm?
Well, firstly, you take a look at Pebbles versus Hag. It's not hugely imbalanced. There's a difference of about 5 crit kills, so 1 a minute. It's going Pebbles' way, and that's pretty much a run. I mean, as Cardinal said, Pebbles is basically playing nuclear poker with Hag. It's, if I let you harass me, I lose this lane. If you come too close to me, boom, you die. And Pebbles is doing quite a good job so far, putting pressure onto that Hag, things like that, just reminding Hag, yeah, I can stun you and kill you, taking a chunk off Hag's life, so that Hag feels pressured, and as a result, Pebbles is doing a good job staying the lane, keeping his farm over, and that's all he needs to do. Pebbles can explode once he's got a few levels on the tri-lane here, is once he's picked up his portal key, and that's roughly what he's going to be looking to do here. And oh dear, Behemoth puts the stun, and this is going to be a straight comment from Pebbles, straight out kill onto Hag there. Great job by Behemoth, just putting out that fish as a stun, no intention of blocking her at all, and letting Pebbles pick up an easy combo. Hag goes down, that is exactly what Duskbin should be doing, just giving Pebbles the opportunity to get ahead in this lane, because once he gets momentum, it's like being hit by a steam train as far as Hag's concerned. She can't really do very much about it, and once Pebbles gets his portal key, obviously that's when he becomes really able to break this game. In terms of the top lane, it's a fairly similar story. 20 crit kills on that Hellbringer, 10 crit kills on the Bubbles, obviously this time in Hellborn's favour. I think realistically, Hellbringer is just that much more dangerous to Bubbles. But Bubbles has little harass. Shellsurf's actually very expensive at 150 mana for not huge amounts of damage, whereas Deathball is probably one of the best harass spells in the game. So it's really quite hard for Bubbles to stay in there, especially when Hellbringer picks up a Chalice, which is pretty much what we're seeing here. So no great surprises on either of those lanes.
Well, it's definitely good that at least one of these lanes right now is being won by the Hellborn. Otherwise, this might be just a landslide victory. Now, should never say never. We are, however, only 7 minutes into this game, so that makes a big difference. A bit of a failed combo going down on the Swiftblade down south. He hasn't died again. He does have himself an assist, but I mean,